I shot the boy too, and I enjoyed it.
In a land where justice is bought and power decides who lives or dies, two men dare to stand against it all.
You the one killed our friend?
That's right.
What begins as a simple cattle drive turns into a brutal fight for survival, loyalty, and redemption. But when everything is taken from them,
He's dead.
they must choose: walk away or burn it all down. In a lush rural setting, a rancher named Boss oversees his cattle alongside his crew, including Charlie, Button, and a worker named Mose. As a group of riders joins them, the men settle in, but a relentless storm soon traps them overnight, sparking conversations and tension, especially when Button cheats during a card game, prompting Boss to warn him about trust. When the rain finally clears, the men return to work. Button helps Mose clean up while Charlie struggles to free a stuck carriage. During the cleanup, Button confides his insecurities about Charlie, and Mose reassures him by sharing how Charlie once convinced Boss to give him a chance despite doubts.
It's Charlie there that talked him into it.
After a long day, Button spots a group of horses, and later Boss and Charlie realize they need supplies for the journey ahead. Boss sends Mose to the nearby town of Fort Harmon, despite Button's protests,
You'll have to ride back that town we passed a ways back.
leaving the others to wait anxiously as night falls and Mose doesn't return. Concerned, Boss and Charlie ride into town, leaving Button behind to guard the camp. After stabling their horses with Percy, they learn Mose has been jailed following a clash with local cattlemen.
He got into it with some cattlemen over at the general store.
At the jail, they confront Marshal Poole and the powerful rancher Denton Baxter.
My name's Denton Baxter.
Mose faces multiple charges with a hefty fine, and Baxter makes it clear he intends to push men like them out. After Denton Baxter orders them to take their man and leave town by morning, Boss and Charlie find Mose in jail, badly beaten and barely able to stand.
I'm glad to see you.
They take him to Dr. Barlow, who reveals Mose's injuries are severe, including broken ribs, and begins treatment while warning it may be too late for full recovery. Once treated, Boss and Charlie insist on taking Mose with them, despite the doctor's advice not to move him, and Barlow refuses payment,
How much owe you, Doctor?
We're even.
noting Mose had already dealt enough damage to Baxter's men. The two men then ride out of town with the injured Mose, reflecting on the kindness of the doctor and his wife as they continue their journey. If you're enjoying this story so far, make sure to like the video. Back at camp, they're greeted by their dog Tig, but find Button missing,
Now, where do you suppose he is?
worrying Boss until Button returns, who is distracted by Mose's condition. He reveals that suspicious riders had been scouting their herd, which alarms Boss and Charlie, who suspect they're Baxter's men. When they ride out to confront them, the riders flee, deepening their suspicions. Later, as Boss reflects on their years together, he wrestles with whether to abandon the herd or stand and fight, ultimately deciding it's about pride and defiance rather than cattle. Remembering Mose's brutal treatment, Charlie agrees they owe Baxter's men, and the two prepare to ride back and face them. Before heading out, Boss tells Button to stay hidden. Then he and Charlie sneak up on the men spying on their herd, disarm and humiliate them,
Wait a minute.
and learn that Baxter's riders are already heading toward their camp. Realizing the danger too late, they rush back to find devastation. Button is badly wounded, Mose has been killed, and their dog Tig lies dead. As grief and anger hit, Boss focuses on saving Button, ordering Charlie to help dig the bullet out to keep him help recover. The next morning, Boss worries about Button's survival after heavy blood loss and a head injury,
I don't know. We lost a lot of blood.
while Charlie insists he needs a doctor and offers to take him back to town despite the risk of facing Baxter again. Though Boss wants revenge and considers staying behind to fight alone, he ultimately agrees, warning he intends to kill Baxter.
And if that marshal gets in the way, I'm going to kill him too.
Before leaving, Charlie buries Mose alongside their dog Tig, delivering a few words himself as Boss, bitter and grieving, refuses.
Well, you got yourself a good man and...
As they prepare to move on, Boss reflects on their long history and tries to open up, but Charlie keeps his emotions guarded, leaving their shared pain unspoken. As they rest, Charlie finally opens up about his past, revealing he killed his first man as a child, later joined the army, survived an ambush, and became part of a deadly unit, continuing a life of violence even after the war, though he never worked for Baxter.
And I put him to work for men just like Baxter.
The next day, he and Boss take the wounded Button to Dr. Barlow's home, where Sue treats him in her husband's absence, confirming there's no skull fracture but likely a severe concussion.
Well, I don't think it's a fracture.
She explains that Baxter's men have taken Barlow to their ranch, and as Boss recounts the attack that killed Mose and their dog, he insists on paying her despite her refusal, while Charlie quietly stays behind. While caring for the injured Button, Sue learns his past from Charlie
Picked him up in a Texas town a few years back.
and warns that the town, and the marshal under Baxter's control, are already against them, though calling for outside help would take too long. After securing supplies, Boss and Charlie brave a violent storm to enter the flooded town, where Charlie rescues a drowning dog before a tense diner confrontation with the marshal, who accuses them of assault while they expose Baxter's brutality against Mose and Button. Though threatened, they hold their ground and later return to find Button recovering, sharing a brief calm with Sue until Boss reveals his tragic past, losing his wife and child to typhus,
They caught the typhus and died, and after that,
deepening the emotional weight before the looming conflict. Don't forget to subscribe before watching ahead. After sharing his painful past, Boss explains his life as a free grazer and promises to give Button a real home if he survives, while Charlie struggles with guilt and growing tension as danger closes in. In town, fear of Baxter keeps people silent until Charlie forces respect. And the truth about Mose's bravery begins to surface, exposing Baxter's cruelty. Warned of an ambush, Boss and Charlie strike first, capturing the marshal's men and regaining control before returning to find Button recovering.
thought we was gonna lose you.
As they prepare for a final confrontation, Charlie opens up to Sue, who gives him a locket for luck, and the two men, accepting what may be their last fight, steady themselves to face Baxter once and for all. Before the final showdown, Boss and Charlie thank Percy, Charlie even leaving a note asking him to sell his gear and buy Sue a new tea set if he dies, then quietly share their real names,
Charles Travis Postlethwaite.
deepening their bond. When Baxter and his men arrive, Charlie ignites the fight by killing Butler, sparking a fierce gun battle where, despite being outnumbered, they hold their ground with Percy and even gain support from townspeople. Amid the chaos, Baxter takes control of the situation by holding Button hostage, forcing a tense standoff as he demands Boss and Charlie surrender. Though the townspeople begin to rise against him, and Sue bravely shields Button,
You're a disgrace, Marshal Poole.
Baxter refuses to back down, leaving everything hanging on a final, deadly decision. As the townspeople rise up, Baxter's men begin to falter. And when Button fires the first shot, a final, intense gunfight erupts, ending with all of Baxter's men, including the marshal, dead. Baxter makes a last stand in the jail, but Boss storms in and fatally wounds him, choosing not to deliver the final shot as his reign collapses. With peace restored, the town begins to heal, and Charlie shares an emotional moment with Sue, initially choosing to leave despite her feelings. However, he later returns, confesses his love, and proposes, which she gladly accepts. Ready to leave their violent past behind, Boss and Charlie decide to finish one last cattle drive before settling down to a quieter life, marking the end of their journey on the trail. Thanks for watching till the end, and be sure to share this with your friends who love great stories.